with regards to Trent and the 72nd minute substitution, I have no issues with the manager making that change. I do have issues with Trent a little bit because I've watched more and more, and I've seen the part where Arne Slot spoke with him. I've seen him walking around the pitch at the end of the game. He doesn't look happy. Well, my honest response to that is, and I mean this from a loving place, tough shit. If the manager decides he wants to take you off, to rest you up, or for any other reason, that's his job. He makes the calls, and I think substituting Trent for the last 20 minutes of the last two games is good squad management. That's how I view the substitution part of it. Now, with regards to what happens from this point on, I don't know. You're all the same as me. We want Trent to stay. Of course we do. But he doesn't look the happiest we've ever seen him. I think that's fair enough to say. And I don't know if Trent had his head turned, and I don't know if Trent is going to be given an offer that he deems acceptable. But what we do know, my friends, is that in 5 days' time, this transfer window closes. And after that, we have between the end of the window and the start of the winter window to make sure that we sort out whatever the futures may be of Virgil, Mohamed and Trent. After that, it's just a guessing game. What we surely cannot allow to happen is Trent to waltz out the door on a free. And like I've said all the way through the summer and all the way before, every week and day and hour that goes by without Virgil, Mohamed and Trent being given a new deal, or at least offered one, the leverage shifts very much so in favour of the players, their representatives and whatever they want to do. So if we can take it for granted that Real Madrid are interested in Trent, and I think we can, then we have to try and figure out if that interest is reciprocated. If Trent feels like maybe now could be the time to leave Liverpool Football Club. And I don't know the answer to that. But to leave him go for free, which would be what's going to happen. Because if he's going to go to Real Madrid and he has his mind set on that, then there's nothing Liverpool are going to do between now and January that will change his mind. What we cannot allow to happen is the season be derailed by the contracts of the three players. And therein lies the problem with the club not sorting this out previously. So whatever it happens, with the best will in the world and the best intentions in the world, this is going to become a distraction. It just is. Virgil has saying basically that he's not being offered a new deal and he's calm about it, but there's been no talks. Trent, who is the one we should be most concerned about for obvious reasons. He's the youngest, he's the vice captain, he's coming into his prime. The idea of maybe losing him for free, that in itself should be a sackable offence for the board. That in itself should be a sackable offence for Edwards, Hughes, Ward and anybody else. There is no rhyme or reason to allowing this situation to get to this point. I can't read the future. I don't know what Trent does or doesn't do. But the idea, as I've mentioned, of letting that man join Real Madrid and us receiving no transfer fee, that is beyond stupid. There is no algorithm. There is no excuse. There is nothing other than stupidity on display from the club. Even if we get to the point where we could say Hughes doesn't want him at the club, and that's a big jump because I don't know that to be the case. But even if the club have decided that Bradley's the future, I would still argue that letting a homegrown player leave for free is beyond stupid. You can make an argument around the Virgil and Mohamed Salah situations. The argument could be that you want to see how they get on this season. You want to make sure there's no drop off before you maybe commit 2-3 year contracts. And most rational people can understand that. I absolutely want all three to stay. I've said it all the way through. The only options in this for me that are unacceptable is the possibility of these gents walking out the door for free. Because for a club that needs to bring in money and a club that needs to be self-financing, the idea of letting three of your best players stroll out the door for free, it's not very smart, is it? You can talk about getting high wages off the books, but you could get them high wages off the books with a transfer fee. I cannot even fathom the idea of Trent leaving for free. it will go down as one of the most embarrassing, idiotic things this club has ever done if it happens. Now, we know John is at Anfield today. What we don't know is, why is he there? Is he there to welcome in Arna for his first home game? Is he there to talk to Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards, Julian Ward, Will Spearman, Arne Slot and the rest of the recruitment team? Well, we certainly hope so, because there are 5 days left in what has been the most disappointing, frustrating and angering transfer window I can remember under these owners. We've gone into the summer with, to use a phrase, hope in our hearts, believing that yes, the squad doesn't need major surgery, but it needs a couple of key personnel brought in. We've been led to believe that that was in hand, that the number 6, the centre-back and whatever other position were being sorted. Be patient, Liverpool will do their business in August. August is nearly over. 5 days, 1 hour, 52 minutes, as I say here, until the window slams shut. And Liverpool Football Club have only sold in this window. They are the facts as we see them laid out in front of us. It's up to you how you feel about that. And it's up to you whether you think we get stuff done over the next few days or not. But even if we do get deals done over the next few days, I've got to be honest and say it only feels like a reaction at this point rather than a plan. And that in itself is annoying. Nothing being done is unacceptable on every level. And we've got to be clear about that. Trent's job is to play football. Arnold's job is to manage the game. He needs to show a bit of maturity when he's taken off. I think that is a more than fair comment. Now, the manager even went to speak with Trent when he was taken off, to have a little word with him. And really, and I mean this sincerely, I don't understand why Trent's so upset. He came on, or he played, did his job, we kept a clean sheet, the game was in the bag, and the manager, knowing that Trent has had a shortened pre-season, decided to take him off and bring on Conor Bradley. And I don't see the problem with that. If it's planning for the future to make sure Conor Bradley, if Trent does leave, is ready to go, that's good planning. If it's to rest up Trent after a short pre-season and an international tournament, that's good planning. I don't see the reason why Trent might have the hump. I don't understand it. I can understand a player not wanting to be taken off. Of course we can. You know, no footballer wants to leave the pitch. But I just don't see what the big fuss is about it from his perspective. I did see the video of him walking around the pitch after the game, and he doesn't look happy. Now, he hasn't looked publicly happy since Klopp left. We've seen what leaving did to Trent for Klopp. It hurt him. You can see it in him. So that's where the fear has come into a lot of our thinking is he off? Does he want to move? And I don't know the answer to that. I don't think any of us can truly know the answer to that as we sit here now. But again, I'm going to ask, where's the planning in all of this? Where's the succession planning? Because even if the club didn't want Trent, and again, that's a big leap to make, letting him go for free does not make sense. He's on 200 grand a week, so about 10 million quid a year. And you're going to let him go for nothing? So that's where I'm at. If Trent is unhappy and wants to depart, well then just let us all know. You know, I'm sure he'll have those conversations. But it is also really important to remember that from that January window onwards, he, if he hasn't signed a new deal, can sign a pre-contract agreement, with Real Madrid or any club outside of the Premier League, and Liverpool can do nothing about it. He will not accept a sale in January. Why would he? Nor would Real Madrid, the proposed buying club, want to pay a fee for him when they know if they just sit tight they'll get him for nothing. The leverage is all with Trent and his representative. Every last bit of it. That's a fact. That's undeniable. The club, as Paul Joyce said, have taken their eye off the ball on Trent, and it is going to be a massive, massive bone of contention for many Liverpool fans. David Massett said, clever from the manager with the subs. David, I'm right there with you, my friend. I think this is good squad management. And if taking Trent off with 20 minutes to go means that it prevents an injury or prevents Trent from being overplayed over the course of a season, I don't see what's wrong about that at all. I think that's clever. And if anything, I like this side of Arne Slot. I like that he is different from Jurgen in that regard. I like that he isn't afraid to make some difficult calls or put some people's noses out of joint. He's the manager. He is the law of the football club. He makes the calls. You don't like it, you know where the door is, and that applies to everybody. And that's how I see it. Truly, that's how I see it. It's his word. It's his job. He's the gaffer. Suck it up or go. And I know that sounds harsh, but truly, what we cannot have is an undercurrent or a frustration or anything festering in the background at the club. We cannot allow that to get into the dressing room. So if there is anybody that's unhappy, then the club have to make some difficult decisions and have to have some difficult conversations. And if that means leaving people out of the first team squad, then so be it as well. The team comes first. Results come first. The squad comes first. Over everything. So I don't know why Trent has the hump, but I do know who I'm backing, and that's the manager. And again, Trent has a big game coming up next week against Manchester United at Old Trafford. So Arne giving him 20 minutes rest. Again, I just think it's good management. And also, he wants to get a look at Conor Bradley as well. He wants to make sure that Conor Bradley is okay should anything happen, or should he need to make a change. Nothing wrong with that. But I don't know what to read into his body language. I don't. That's for each of us to decide individually what you think you've seen.